So TLDR, this is going to be a less adept player's breakdown of a top tier player's clip. It's about 15 seconds, so you're going to see a lot of the same footage. This clip was really impressive. I watched it happen live and I asked him to clip it so that I can make a video about it because there was a lot going on. And I think sometimes we overlook those. I know that I overlooked a lot of stuff in this video until I went back and rewatched it a few times. So let's get into the breakdown. There are three things that I noticed in this video, and if you notice something else that I haven't pointed out, please let me know in the comments below. I'm interested to see what some other less adept players like myself, or maybe some top tier players, what you guys have to say about this. The first thing is the positioning, both yours and your opponent's. In this clip, and you'll just keep seeing the clip play over and over again, he always makes sure to position himself around cover. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, yeah, that's common sense. Obviously, I want to position myself in cover. But it's not just being content with where your position is at, it's also knowing where your position is at in relation to your opponents. And I think that's something that a lot of less adept players like myself, we kind of forget. It's easy to position ourselves in good spots, but we forget that our opponents aren't just these static dolls. They actually move around the map just like us, and they also are trying to get in a good position like us. You see him dance around that long rectangular box in the middle, and you can see his opponent also is dancing around it. They're both paying attention to their radar. They're both kind of feeding off of each other's positions, and they're trying to get into the advantageous position. And this is where the next one comes in, which I would call baiting. So an epic defender is trying to bait his opponent to go a certain direction so that he can then move catty corner to that and have the better position. You see this when he goes to one end of the box and then immediately comes back to the other end. He's trying to bait his opponent to follow him to that end because his opponent knows, hey, you've got a fighting lion, or maybe you've got a grenade launcher. I can push in close and finish you off with my sidearm, which has a really fast TTK and is really good in those specific ranges. So keeping that information in mind, he tries to come around the box. He tries to bait his opponent into this close quarters area and then immediately Icarus dashes away to get himself away from that, luring his opponent to where he was just at and trying to give himself the better shot. You can see this happen when he goes to the tall square, the things on top. He mantles it a little bit, goes to the right, immediately Icarus dashes to the left, which he's able to then get the 128 damage on. Which brings me to my last part, knowing when to go for the kill. This is super important, especially if you're using a grenade launcher, right? Even if he had gotten those damage markers on the first two shots, they would have been probably low 30 to 40 damage markers, not enough for his Celestial Fire or his grenade to reliably kill. So knowing when you can go for the kill with what you have available, because as you've probably noticed, he doesn't have any special ammo or heavy, it's just his Celestial Fire melee and his grenade. So he has to wait until he sees those high three digits to say, okay, I've gotten this. Now I can retreat into an open position, which he does because, again, he's baiting his opponent. He retreats out into that open area. His opponent's probably thinking, oh, this is going to be easy. I've got my sidearm. I'm going to gun him down in the open. He can't hide anymore. And as soon as he jumps up over that box, he dies because Epic knew both his position, his opponent's position. He baited his opponent into an open spot where the cover couldn't interrupt his Celestial Fire, and he knew that he had 128 damage, so he knew that he could go for the kill. All of these things, when I saw this clip, when I saw this happen first, I was like, oh man, you need to clip this because this was a really this pointed out a lot of really good things that less adept players like myself often forget to do. And I talked to him about it, and a lot of these things they're just kind of subconscious. Once you've played the game for a really long time, these things become subconscious. They just become reactions. You do these things because you've practiced knowing where your position is at, where your opponent's position is at. You've practiced that so much that when it happens, your brain just takes in the information and automatically reacts. You've practiced baiting an opponent out into a better position for you. You spend hundreds or thousands of hours practicing these things, knowing, okay, my Celestial Fire can do X amount of damage, so I have to do Y amount of damage first before I can use it to ensure that I get the kill. All of these things take thousands of hours of practice, and when you do them all individually, and they come together like this, it is, in my opinion, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful clip. It's really well played, and I was grateful that I was able to watch it.